I didn't understand it at the time. Not in the way adults understand things. I didn't have words for impossible. I only had the certainty that settled in my stomach like a stone. I knew I did not push him. I'm the middle child of 3, an older sister and a younger brother. We moved 4 times in my first 6 years. Back then it felt normal. Kids adapt. They don't ask why the address keeps changing. They just learn where the light switches are. Now as an adult, I know the reason for the constant moves. But that isn't the intent of these stories. This isn't about the why. It's about the moments that don't fit into any explanation you can live with. Before we ended up in the house that carried us through middle school and high school, all 5 of us lived in a small apartment. I remember that place as warm, safe, the kind of safe you only realize you had after it's gone. My siblings and I played until the sun went down and the hallway light bled under the door. We fought over video games. I rode my bike in the ditch behind the building where the grass grew too tall. I remember laughter, scraped knees, the ordinary. That's what makes this memory so sharp. It doesn't belong with the rest. I was 5. My younger brother was 3. My older sister and dad were at one of her softball practices, leaving my brother and me with our mother. She was in the living room folding laundry, positioned so she could see into the kitchen without getting up. A straight line of sight. A mother's habit. Eyes on the kids, even when her hands are busy. My brother sat in his high chair with a snack. I sat at the table with mine. I was a typical older brother, curious in the way that's only funny when nobody gets hurt. My little brother was my unknowing experimental subject. Will this beanbag stuffing fit in an ear? He was the subject. Do karate kicks really hurt? He was the subject. I wasn't cruel. I was 5. I was learning cause and effect with the only lab partner I had. But what happened that day wasn't something I could have done. Not with my hands, not with my feet, not even with the kind of careless stupidity kids are capable of. His high chair was backed up against the countertop, so if he rocked, it wouldn't fall backward. An adult solution to a toddler problem. Wedged. Safe. From the corner of my eye, I saw it shift. Not hard, just enough to catch my attention. The legs scraped the floor with a soft, dry sound like a chair being adjusted at a dinner table. I turned my head. My brother hadn't stopped eating. He didn't even look up. No hands pushing the tray, no feet kicking, no tantrum, just chewing, calm as a kid can be when he's focused on food. Then the chair rocked back again. This time it hit the countertop hard enough to make a noise. Wood against laminate. A dull thunk that didn't belong in the quiet apartment. My brother startled and cried. From the living room, my mom called out without looking up. "Sit still and eat." Tired, automatic. And then, like something had been waiting for her to dismiss it, the chair tipped forward. It didn't slide, it didn't wobble like a kid rocking too far. It pitched, sudden and committed, as if a hand had grabbed the back and shoved. In my memory it happens in slow motion, but I know it wasn't. I still see my brother's eyes widening before his mouth even opened. His cry turned into a continuous sound, pure panic. I want to say I reached out. I want to say I stopped it. But that part isn't there. The chair fell forward and my brother's face hit the floor. The sound was wrong, too heavy, too final. My mom came running in, laundry forgotten. She lifted the chair upright so fast it looked like she'd yanked it out of the floor. Then I saw my brother's face. Blood, enough that it didn't look real at first. His crying turned wet and choking. My mom made a sound I'd never heard from her before. "Get in the car," she said, voice shaking. "Now, now." I remember the rush, the hallway suddenly too long, my mom's keys shaking in her hand. I remember my brother in my lap in the back seat, face pressed into my shirt, warm and trembling. I remember my mom driving like the world was ending, hitting the steering wheel and screaming at the cars ahead to move, like she could force reality to bend. When my dad came home and heard what happened, his eyes went straight to me. I told them the truth. I said I didn't touch the chair. I said it moved by itself, rocked back twice, then tipped forward like something shoved it. My dad didn't buy it, but my mom went quiet. That was my first memory. Not the blood, not the hospital, the certainty. The chair moved, and I didn't push him. And my mother, quiet, pale, trying to keep steady, seemed to have a secret of her own.